So one of the things that happens in your show is you place a unique. It seems to me, maybe I'm coming at it from my point of view, but you have a number of shows you do around Christians, and you seem intrigued. That's probably
Yes.
the way I'd put it. You seem intrigued.
Well, because I feel like Christians are really horribly covered by the media. Like Christians seem like a really ripe
you don't
target of
think
opportunity.
you don't think we Christians deserve this?
What do you mean?
The political involvement and the public stances that they take, that you don't think it's well deserved at times, that
That they're
they get
covered
covered by the
badly?
media?
No.
You don't?
No.
Okay, talk about that.
You know, most subgroups in America will complain to you about the way that they're portrayed in the media, right? But Christians seem to have just an especially bad situation of it.
Do you feel sorry for them?
Well, I mean, it's hard to feel sorry for a group that's like the dominant group in a country, but like I acknowledge that you all are being badly treated by the press, and there came a point like early on in the show where I just noticed that the way the Christians are portrayed in movies and on television is almost always as these crazy people, you know, like these doctrinaire, hothead, crazy people, whereas the Christians in my life were incredibly wonderful and thoughtful and had very ambiguous, complicated feelings in their beliefs, and seemed to be totally generous-hearted and totally open to like a lot of different kinds of people in their lives, and just seemed to be like even the people who were fundamentalists, like not just like you're sort of like garden variety Protestants, but the people who are really
Right.
like fundamentalist Christians. There's somebody who I work with named Nora, who's new at NPR, who had been raised fundamentalist, and there's a lot of people at WBEZ in Chicago who are really strong Christians and had their Bibles at their desks and would invite you to see that series of movies where the people are the rapture movies. You know what I mean? Like you know, if you were like friendly person around the office, you'd get invited to the rapture movies and stuff.
Right.
Like there were just Christians in my lives who I really felt close to and adored, who were nothing like the way the Christians were being portrayed. And as somebody doing documentaries, I just thought like, what Christians really are is not being captured by the press. And so that just created an opportunity for us to document the way people live their religion. It just seemed like a really interesting thing that nobody was talking about. I remember there was a scene in the movie Three Kings, which is a movie, one of my favorite movies, which is about the first Iraq War, where one of the actors at one point during the script just goes off. One of the characters just goes off and prays. Like, you know, he's in a bad situation, he just goes off and prays. And it's not like a plot point, it's not like a big deal. Right. He just happens to have faith. And I remember seeing that and thinking, I have never seen that in a movie, where like it's not like a point like this means he's a good guy or this means like he's a bad guy.
Right.
He's just somebody who has faith.
Doing what he does.
And it's like just a thing.
Yeah.
Like just like, and I felt like, and I remember this is all, that movie's years old, and this was around the time we were doing this. I was like, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like we should just be capturing the way people are living their faith.
Right. So, I mean, there's some beautiful stories that I was, one of the ones that I found most fascinating, this is actually from, I think this was one of your radio shows in '97 where you sent somebody to do the Ted Haggard.
Right,
Colorado
Springs, because he was doing the prayer shield.
The prayer shield over the city.
Over a city, yeah, which for us as secular people and as non-believers seemed insane.
Right.
And a lot of that show was about, is there any common ground where non-believers and believers can even understand each other on this issue?
Yeah.
And I and my reporter on the scene, Elise Spiegel, believed, of course there is. And the Christians uniformly told her, no, there is no way you can understand this. We can explain this as long as we want.
Right.
And I remember, like, for her, like, one of the moments in that reporting that was really shocking, that was shocking for me too, was that people really seemed to believe that there are, like, devils, invisible devils, scheming every day, like, to bring us down.
In sunny Denver.
Yeah, in sunny Denver. And it wasn't like a metaphor or anything. Like, they meant literally, like, actual devils are, like, out there.
There was a war going on.
There's a war going on.
And so his plan was to take a grid of the city and block by block pray over it and all of that. And her point of view was, is this people just being kind and sort of blessing people? But it turned out there's actually a battle going on, and so there was all this. But what interested me about that was, was her ability to wade into that.
Yeah.
And to feel it. It was kind of painful to listen to at times because I'm very familiar with that world that those people are part of, by the way. And so it was painful to listen to her experience.
Well, they try to convert her.
Well, of course they did. I mean, they'd be obligated to do that. I mean, that's what their mission is. So,
Right.
But what interested me was her willingness to expose herself to that and to reflect.
So
It was-
she
she
exposed
was
herself.
reflecting her own personal experience. There's a difference between just sort of like, going into it and then, but not reflecting about what you're experiencing when it's happening.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. But I also
very
see that your show reflects that still today, that value.